What's up, everybody? Arrg the Pirate here, and today I'm going to be playing a little offlane Shinbi. As always, let's start out with the deck. Now I have Quick Exit, Armored, Auto Shield, Deadly Mana, Mana Fountain, and overpowered spells for my gems. Now for my cards, I have Advanced Evolution, Cull the Weak, Font of Experience, Mana Flow Acolyte, Possess Sprykin, Invader Mage, Thaumaturgy, Atomic Soldier, Shadow Dancer, and lastly Awaken the Imric. Now how I build Shinbi is, of course, I start out with my 3 cheap cards, starting with Font of Experience, and then I focus on picking up Possess Sprykin. It is an amazing card, and it's great for that early game burst plus sustain. And then, you just kind of level up Mana Flow Acolyte into your Invader Mage, into your Thaumaturgy or Atomic Soldier, and then my final build will be Possess Sprykin, Atomic Soldier, and then either Shadow Dancer or Awaken the Imric, really depending on, do we need to push lanes or do we need to focus on killing. So it's kind of one or the other. Shinbi is not the best at taking down towers, but with Awaken the Imric, you can relieve a lot of pressure in a lane, or even flip a lane to take down a tower quickly. Now, I am playing Shinbi in the off lane, and, she does okay in mid lane. There's just so many better heroes, I feel, in the mid lane, with that range, especially since we're in such a burst caster meta. If you're going against a Gideon or something like that, he's going to be able to dominate you in the beginning, just because Shinbi does take a little bit longer than other burst casters to really come online. Now, if you are new to Shinbi, the key thing to know with her is her ultimate is based on stacks that you get on the enemy. Every time you hit an enemy with an ability, this is really all 3 of your abilities other than your ultimate, you get a stack of your little wolf pack on them. So you can hit them with that line, that swirly wolf, or your dash even. All of these things apply stacks, and they stack up to 8 times. And then when you use your ultimate, it goes to the closest person to you that has the most stacks. So your ultimate does not split between heroes. You are really a one-person killing machine, but you can use all your abilities to, kill more than one hero. She is very strong, and with, that line tempo being on such a short cooldown, you can really spam that, and it doesn't cost much mana. So if you see here, I'm using it to kind of secure last hits, and this is definitely one advantage Shinbi has over other melee offlaners. She does have that range, and she is able to get a substantial amount of poke. Now, I do not have my living towers, and if you have that gem, of course, put that gem on. It is so critical to have a really strong gem or a really strong early game sustain, and you can see here, I just don't have that. I am going to go back and put on that Advanced Evolution to help me out, but still, until I can get that Possess Sprykin, I don't really have a good solid sustain, and, that's just really going to hurt me. Now, if you do want to play Shinbi in the off lane over other roles like the jungle and the mid lane, which, honestly, I would definitely recommend. I don't really care to see Shinbi in the jungle, although she is an amazing ganker. I don't really feel that her early jungle game is very strong, and, you can say, oh yeah, she's great once you hit, level 5 or 6 or whatever, and yeah, that's true, but almost everybody's a great jungler at that point, and I just don't really care to see her in that jungle role, but, no big deal. Now, if you see here, I'm using that line tempo to hit the minions as well as get some poke damage on this Countess. And that's really key. I want to get minion damage, and if she ever gets into a straight line with those minions, I'm going to be able to damage her, and that's, you know, really helpful for me. Now, I am in comms with my jungler, so I am able to tell him, hey, you know, help me out, or whatever, and he's been able to do a fantastic job, and this has really allowed me to go back, put on some cards, things like that. Now, I did spring for my Call of the Week, and that's really up to you if you want to focus on getting that Possessed Sprykin first or Call of the Week. I like getting Call of the Week because, you know, it just helps me get farm a little quicker, and with a hero like Shinbi, you know, poking is great, but if I can force them out of lane, which I'm about to do right here, this Call of the Week will really allow me to start getting those last hits and everything like that. And you can see that amount of burst damage Shinbi has. I was able to just absolutely wreck that Countess. And with my ability to close distances, have that long range poke, I'm able to just put out massive amounts of damage. And you can see I really come online at level 5, which is not just completely typical of your caster heroes. Most casters come online at about level 8 when you start upgrading your abilities, and this is the reason I like seeing Shinbi in that off lane, because at level 5 she is an absolute beast, and you know, you are forced to deal with her. Now, if you see here, I am out of mana, and that's really my kind of downfall with Shinbi. She just absolutely drinks mana, especially in the early stages of the game. So you might be able to get a kill, or, you know, if you saw there, I got a kill and then was able to go in on that Twin Blast, but that's about it. After that, I'm completely useless, and without having, you know, some sort of mana card, I need to go back, and the way I see it is that lane's pushed, that Twin Blast was forced out of lane. Sure, Countess might be back shortly, but my lane's pushed kind of unsafe, and I really don't want to mess with it. Now, I go ahead and head up to that tower, but they're having a little fight in mid lane, so I'm going to just go ahead and rotate over to mid lane. And luckily, that Countess, or that Twin Blast, either didn't say anything or didn't see me, and I'm able to actually get quite a bit of damage onto this Bellica and take her out. Now, that does cost me, you know, I did tower dive, but that's quite alright. Able to secure that Bellica and really free up that Iggy to, you know, put a lot more pressure on that lane. He is kind of rotating a little bit. We've got a very strange team comp right now. We don't currently have an ADC. Our last pick was hopefully going to be our ADC, and he went with Greystone. So we've actually got a Greystone in our safe lane, which is a little bit odd, but no big deal. We can try to make it work, and really this video is more about showcasing Shinbi over anything else, so I'm just really going to focus on trying to do a good job with Shinbi. You can't always pick what your teammates are going to do, and, you know, although it sucks not having a good team comp, or when you were expecting someone to play someone and they choose someone else, you know, that can be a pain, but the way I look at it is, you do a good job, whether you win or lose, learn something. Learn, you know, of course we all know having a Greystone in the safe lane is not the best choice, but as long as you learn something from the match, and for me, I don't play Shinbi all that much, so I was able to go, okay, when they have a Countess in the offlane as a support, I'm able to absolutely destroy them. And you see here, she tower dives a little bit, and I'm able to just absolutely destroy her once again. And that's just that level advantage on top of Shinbi really comes online at level 5, Countess comes online at level 8. So you can really see the balance difference there, and yet again, that's why I like seeing Shinbi in that offlane position. Now, we have had some back and forth in that offlane, but I cut it out. You know, it's pretty standard stuff. And I did pick up Invader Mage. I've got my Possessed Sprykin, so I've got a big damage boost. And Twin Blast and Countess are really not expecting the damage I'm about to put out. I'm able to secure this Countess kill just really effortlessly. Although I do lose my tower, you know what, there was no saving it. I could have gone after minions, but there's really no point. I'm able to take out that Countess, like I said. Then I actually get that Twin Blast. Although Crunch was there, I have a feeling I probably would have taken him out anyways. And we have some rotation from the mid laner Bellicus here, which I am out of mana, so I do have to be careful. And since I am out of mana, going against a Bellicus, she might be able to one-shot me. At this low level, I'm probably pretty safe, but I want to back just to be sure. Once I'm able to head back from the tower, get back into my off lane. Now, I really want to push this tower. That will free me up to be able to rotate things like that. My tower is down, and, you know, I really don't like leaving lane just a whole lot until my tower's down, just because it is so fast for them to, you know, push into my tier 2 without having that much larger wiggle room. So I really like downing my tower before I really start rotating. Now this Twin Blast is, you know, being obnoxious, and I'm going to try to get a little poke on him, and then I just say, you know what, I'm going to go in. I should be able to take this out no problem, and luckily I am. I don't get him with my ult, but I do get him with this line tempo. I'm able to run up to this, you know, top of this staircase, and then head back down, and I actually end up downing this tower. So that was a great play. You know, I was under tower for entirely too long. I really wish I was able to take him out with that ultimate, but no problem. I'm still pretty healthy, and I'm able to secure this river buff or this gold buff as well. And then I'm going to head back into my lane and take out my jungle camps just to kind of top me off on health. I do have some mana, so this is just kind of a good time to do that. It'll not only help me out, but help the team. And before I just head back to base and kind of put on some more cards. Now, a few minutes later, I'm back in my lane, and if you see here, I'm going to hard push this lane. Now, in a lot of my videos, you see me hard pushing lanes, and you might go, Arrg, why are you doing that? And really the reason for that is you can't really set a lane when it's on their side. You know, it's, in my opinion, it's better to hard push a lane, make them rotate over to actually deal with that threat, and then you can rotate, but just know you've got a shorter amount of time to go back. If you set that lane, that, you know, it might stack up, but it's not going to stack up very much. You're not going to get a free tower out of that or anything. And you see here, that allows me to rotate to this mid. I'm able to get a great gank on this Countess. We're also able to get a pretty decent gank on this Bellica as well. Now, I did use my ultimate, so I'm not going to be able to secure that kill, but we do force her out of lane. Now, I'm getting pretty low, and I tell Crunch, hey, we just need to get out. We've kind of done what we wanted to do. I'm going to go see if the river buff's up, and just kind of wait around, secure this river buff, go get gold, maybe push my lane a little bit more, and, you know, kind of just do that typical farming thing. Now, I do, like I said, I head over to my lane. I'm going to kind of put some pressure on it. We did have just such a massive presence in that mid lane, and I see we've got a massive rotation to that safe lane. So I'm going to try to get some pressure on my lane, maybe alleviate some of that safe lane side, and, you know, hey, who knows, we might be able to secure tower out of this. Now, we did lose 2 heroes there, and that's really unfortunate, but I'm going to try to make that loss, you know, a positive thing. And since I am Shinbi, I do have a decent means of escape, so I'm not too terribly worried about a rotation. Of course, there could be a rotation that takes me out, but I'm not terribly worried about it. Now, you do see Bellica heads over, and like I said, Bellica can absolutely delete me, so I do have to be aware of that. And I'm able to take that tier 2 out. Unfortunately, I do end up going down for it, but we had a 3-man rotation, and I took a tier 2 out, so that alleviated pressure elsewhere. And, you know, I don't know, dying for a tier 2 is kind of worth it in my mind, as long as you only have 1 death. If 2 people die for a tier 2, in my opinion, it's not worth it. But in a situation like that, I think it's completely worth it. Now, once I spawn back in, my tier 2 is actually being pushed by Wukong. So I head over there, and, you know, if I can get my wolves on Wukong, I'm going to absolutely destroy him. And you know, he might run as much as he can, but with my stacks on him and Crunch hits him a couple of times, we're able to secure that kill almost effortlessly. I head back to my tower, take out these minions. You know, I need to get this lane set and, you know, back pushing the other way. And if you see here, Crunch actually kind of diverted that lane, so our lanes are going to meet kind of in the middle. This is going to allow me to rotate, and hopefully we can secure another kill or clean up some lanes. Now, just a little bit later, I noticed Twin Blast is out of position. So again, I'm going to go up this staircase, jump down, and get a good gank on him. And you know, that's one thing. Shinbi, she's a burst caster. She's an assassin. Her job is to take out ADCs or just really the squishier heroes, and she's really good at it. You can see the amount of burst she's able to do. The key to playing Shinbi well is just like any other assassin, just like Countess. You want to catch people off guard. That's kind of what a gank is. So use the fog walls, you know, use that top ledge to jump up there, and that will allow you to be a lot more successful with Shinbi. Now, I do end up securing purple buff, and you know what this means with Shinbi. I'm gonna just absolutely delete somebody, although my ultimate is on cooldown, and you know, I might not be able to help out a whole lot. Now, I go ahead and ping careful, safe lane, because they are having a massive rotation. I don't want to go over there, and, you know, in hindsight, maybe I should have. You know, with a 5-man rotation like that, pinging, hey, y'all need to get out, should have been good enough to say, hey, y'all need to get out. But it wasn't, and unfortunately, we get a couple of deaths here. And I'm going to go ahead, head over there, maybe try to secure a kill. And, you know, that was just really unfortunate. I wish my team would have went, okay, he said get out, maybe we should. But you can't always play for your teammates. The best thing you can do, let them make their mistakes. Maybe they can learn from that. Try to salvage what you can. You could say, hey, Pirate, you should have gone over there. Yeah, I might have. That was a bad fight. Without team communication, you know, I don't know what they're doing. My communication was, hey, y'all need to be careful, y'all need to retreat. And their communication was, hey, we're still going to push this tower no matter what. You know, that I don't want to get in a fight under the enemy tower, under the enemy tier 2 with a 5-man rotation. That's a bad fight, and we're not going to win that. We might be able to get a kill, but we would probably die for it. So, hey, I'd rather let them make the mistake. Maybe they can learn from it, and I can go kind of do my own thing and hopefully salvage something from, you know, those deaths that were kind of a little bit careless. Now, I am able to get that pick on Bellica, but unfortunately, you see here, they rotated. I end up getting my second death due to that Iggy and Countess ultimate. You know, a mid laner for an off laner, really not the best, but it, you know, we didn't lose anything, but we really didn't gain anything. And hopefully we can turn this around, salvage it. I'm still doing fairly well. 11-2-0. You know, this has been a very successful game for me. And, you know, yeah, it's definitely not over. Now, a few minutes later, I get my lane set and pushing against the enemy. I head to mid lane to hopefully try to get this pushed. We've had just some bad teammates so far this match, and people have kind of just given up. And, you know, I'm still trying what I can do, but, you know, there are limits to what I'm able to do. Now, Bellica showed up, and I don't want to mess with Bellica. I don't want to sit under that tower and just get zapped of mana. Now, they do end up heading over to me. The Countess is here. I'm going to go ahead and take out this Countess, and luckily, you know, made very short work of her. I go ahead, head into this Bellica. You can see just the amount of damage Shinbi's capable of doing. It's crazy. And with that life steal that she has, you're able to, you know, stay in fights for quite a while. Now, I did try to go in on that Wukong, but I'm going to go ahead and say, you know what, I'm going to head back into lane. I'm going to clean these minions up, push this tower. I'll let them get away. We got a double kill there. There's no reason to push our luck and chase those kills past, past inhibs or anything. I'm gonna try to get into this tower, but you can see I'm body blocked a little bit, and that's one thing. In I guess a knuckle-to-knuckle kind of fight with someone like Feng Mao or someone like Wukong, I'm gonna absolutely get destroyed. Those heroes are fighters. I'm really not a fighter. I'm a burst caster. So I don't want to pick a fight there. I want to get out, and luckily that's exactly what I do. I do try to head back to this mid lane. I'm gonna go ahead and try to delete this Twin Blast, and I do miss that Blind Tempo. It's just kind of annoying, but we are gonna be able to secure this Twin Blast, and hopefully we can get something done on this Feng Mao. Now, I didn't have minions. I didn't have enough enemy minions to really get some lifesteal out of that, and unfortunately, I did not realize that most of my team was dead there. I would not have, gone back in there and actually done that if I would have known, yeah, well, we had 3 deaths already. But, that's just another one of those team communication things, and it kind of goes downhill from here. I'm able to put on Shadow Dancer, but they actually end the game before I'm capable of doing that. This was a really unfortunate game. We started out very strong, but we had a hero give up, and when that happens, it's really hard to come back from just a hero not playing. That a 4v5 situation is very, very difficult, especially if you miss a hero like that mid lane position. Well, that's gonna wrap it up, guys. I had a great game. Unfortunately, we did have a hero just quit, and we had kind of a goofy team comp, but it was a really fun game. Well, thanks for watching, guys, and if you enjoyed, show me some love. Leave me a comment, think about subscribing, and as always, I'll see y'all in the next video.